But this, what we're facing now from China, goes far beyond anything the nation's ever confronted, because we've never had a competitor, adversary with these resources at their disposal and with the complexity of reach. This is not simply a pure governmental. We're all set up to think about governmental efforts. This is not just governmental. This is a whole of society, whole of economy approach to how they try to influence our policies in the United States. What we're talking about here is the effort of the Chinese Communist Party to basically subdue us without fighting, to get us to a point where we are doing the things they want us to do because it's coming from within. So let's start with Wall Street, investment firms and corporations, all of whom have been deputized for decades into arguing the Chinese viewpoint of economic policy, of trade, because they're making a lot of money in China. Now, they may realize that one day they'll be put out of business once their Chinese competitor is given all their intellectual property, but for the next few years, there's a lot of money invested, and they understand that in order to have access to that market, they have to make the people that give that access happy. And so they come here to the Capitol for decades, march into the White House, and basically say, we argue what the Chinese Communist Party wanted them to argue on their behalf.
While the PRC is engaged in global influence operations for years, they have supercharged their efforts recently at the state and local level, using foreign investment and business opportunities as points of leverage to impact U.S. political process and to reduce the United States' criticism of China. Confronting this behavior is especially challenging because frequently, some of these activities don't fall into a classic illegal category. Lobbying, people-to-people exchanges, overt propaganda, trade deals, all governments engage in these activities. But what makes this different is, frankly, the scale of their efforts and the resources, methods, and organization they employ to advance these objectives, and the frequent obfuscation that occurs that covers the links between these efforts and the PRC's intelligence agencies. In both its influence and coercion activities, the PRC has focused attention on those it perceives who shape U.S. policy. And that goes from business elites, to mayors, to journalists, to even folks at think tanks.